All right, we are live. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We are back with another FOMO Friday. Really excited to get things kicked off here. We will be going over the markets. I also have a major alpha that I will be sharing, actually, two different plays. One is a major alpha, and another one is a potential um, play that I am buying into. So I'm excited to share those plays with you. It is May, so we still have quite a bit of downside still remaining on BTC. We'll dive into the markets. Anything that we just do discuss here today is not financial advice. It is purely for educational and fun purposes. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Bits, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm well. It's good to be back. Did we do a FOMO Friday last week? No, right?
No, no, we did
It's like
not. I
two
was
weeks
out
ago,
for the
2 or 3 weeks
holidays.
ago. Yeah,
Yes, we did one the week before. Yes.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. So it's been a little bit, but it's good to be back. These are always fun.
yes.
Hanging with you, hanging with Nat when we got Nat on here, and Calvin when Calvin's on here, and everyone else. But yeah, these are fun. I think it'll be a good show today.
Yes,
Um,
absolutely.
no, no, good to be back.
Yeah, absolutely. Nat, how are you doing?
Doing pretty good. Let me tell you, Lady Trader, I think what you said on the space really has people ears perked because I am receiving DMs about what ticker Lady Trader is talking about. I've got like five of them. So I
Oh,
think everyone's antsy, yeah, to find out what it is you're talking about. And
what's
I'm
the
excited to dive into this one.
yes, what is the ticker is going to be the question, and I will be sharing it in a little bit, right? So, but first, let's get into the market. Bex, are you ready to share your charts?
I can be. Give me 1 second. We'll pull this up here. All right. Share screen, window. What am I looking for? Trading view. Here we go. All right. Here, let me bring that chart up and move us to the side. All right, beautiful. Yeah. Look, I'll open up with BTC, and then I know you asked me before we started to also take a look at gold, and I'll pull up silver as well, and
Yes.
I'll probably hit like stable coins and stuff. Just do my usual little breakdown here. But yeah,
Yes, absolutely.
looking at BTC, I mean, we're getting a little bit of a pop off of this low. I started a position here on this dump. I stayed up. It's like I rarely stay up late, but I was up that night, capturing a position off of this low, and then we've had a couple dumps these last mornings, to about a little bit below, but roughly about that general area. So I think that there's a chance that this low sticks here. We've got some volume coming in. It's still very wicky. It is still very wicky, but I want to see if there's some follow through here. The main thing I'm watching is this previous week low. This is really the key level for me. We've got about, what is it, 2 days or something like that left in the week. Yeah, 2 days and 7 hours. So we've got 2 days and 7 hours left in the week. I want to see if Bitcoin can close the week above that previous week low. I think if we do get above this previous week low, I think there's a pretty good chance we're going to see a move up here to 77, 78, maybe even as high as the previous month high here at about 79.5, which, after we open up the new month, this would no longer be the previous month high because that's the current previous month, but we'd be looking at this would be the previous month, on the new month open. But this is still the level right here. The 79.5 is still the level that I'd be watching, and the reason for that is quite simple. Let me go to the weekly, and just so you guys can see it here pretty clearly. So there's that previous week low, right? So we're currently below it. What I'm saying is I'd like to see us close this week above that level, above this previous week's low of that wick. And if that happens, I think there's a chance we come up and we sweep these highs here, maybe as high as the previous month high. If I go to the monthly view, monthly definitely looks bearish right here. Right, this is a bearish looking setup. In fact, this is that turtle soup CRT power of three. Like this is kind of what that is shaping up to be, which is this month took the high of last month, right, with a sweep above that, and a sweep of the entire range. Like I've been talking about this on my evening streams. But essentially, February gave you this monthly range, as well as the weekly range, right? I gave you this weekly range, this Feb candle, and everything since then had just been an inside bar until this month. Here in May, we actually got the first deviation outside of that range. Very similar to what you got back here, by the way, right? Very similar to what you got in the last range before it broke down. You had nothing but a bunch of inside bars. Once you got the deviation above the range, then you essentially had um, you had built up enough liquidity below all of these higher lows. Same thing that we did here for price to be able to get some acceleration to the downside. So I do think that that's the potential of what's likely repeating here. Is that we're likely to see that because this is pretty much the exact same setup. Pretty much the exact same setup, right? You had one weekly candle or a monthly candle that set a big range, a bunch of inside bars. Price was confined to that range, and then when you finally broke out, it ended up being a deviation. Now I can't get this rectangle out of here. Hold on. There we go. But what you mentioned this morning, and this is the reason why I think there's going to be a move higher. If we can, and again, I think this is like the requirement for me. If we can close this month and the week above the low of last week, so previous week low, which is 74,300, like that's the level I'm watching. I think if we can close above that and we don't go lower than the current low, I think that that's important as well. That this low here sticks, that this is the low, and now we're just trying to close above that last week, right? If that happens, I think the new month opens with an initial manipulation, if you will, to the upside, an initial false move to the upside that can go as high as the high of April. I don't really want to see it above that. It can be below that, but it has room to go as high as the high of April, right? The current previous month high. I think if it does that, that's your false move at the beginning of the month, beginning of the new week, and overall the draw. Like if we're talking about where liquidity is most likely to follow, I think that would become down here, and we'd be kind of looking towards this side down here. Now, again, this doesn't play out 100% of the time. It plays out quite a bit of the time. Sure, you can get something that invalidates and goes higher anyways. Like I don't really know for sure, but that would be essentially the setup I'd be looking for. And the way that would look, essentially on the daily, like if we zoom in a little bit more, the way that would look is similar to this, which is what I've been talking about. And this is really why I shared, like at the beginning of May, I said that, I thought 81K or around 81K, and then we'd potentially move back down near, 69, 70K. We're at 74. We're pretty close. This is a big horizontal area. But the way this would look is essentially the low should be in. Like if this scenario is going to play out, the low should be in. This should be able to pop up and slowly work its way up at the beginning of the new month. And then you'd be looking for a sweep of these highs here. So like around 78, as high as 79.5. I really don't think it should breach above 79.5, but I'm kind of looking here. And then that would look something like that, So we'll see if we get it, and then this would, we'll see how far this will accelerate down. But that's kind of my primary case right now. It still maintains the larger bearish look based on the monthly, but it recognizes that on the daily and lower, this is a great area for a bounce. There's a lot of reasons why it should bounce. So if you align the two and you say, okay, what does it look like if I bounce on a daily and see some upside for a week or two, but at the same time, respecting the fact that the monthly is not a good looking monthly close, the fact that, like we said, on the weekly and the monthly, this is just a deviation above a broader range. Well, that's how you align those two. That's how you align a short-term bounce with a longer-term correction. This is just going to be a false move up and potential lower. So, and again, I don't know, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know with 100% certainty that that's how it's going to play out. It doesn't mean it can't go higher and invalidate that. It could be wrong, right? I could be wrong about that and it pushes up higher. Certainly is a possibility, but that's my current read based on the data that I have, that there's potentially a move like that. I've also talked a lot about this channel right? Like this entire time I've talked about this channel, why a move to 80K was possible was because of this channel. Like if you just connected these lows, they kind of told you the effective range or the volatility range for BTC this entire time. So you're kind of getting a bounce here at like the median of the channel. Like this would essentially just look like, I mean, if you got a bounce here, right? If you got a bounce here, you'd be trying to get back above this, maybe failing up here somewhere, and then you just be moving towards the bottom of the channel. Nothing really changes there. At the bottom of the channel, even though I think there will be a possibility that it could go lower, I probably will be hedging. This would be an area where I'd be paying attention. We know there's going to be some liquidity here. This is a beautiful vector right here that's unclaimed. The fact that it's orange, gold colored, whatever, that means that's a 300% plus volume move compared to the previous 10 candles here. It's significant. This is a significant area. So I'm still looking for that 69, 68. I still think that makes sense. If it fails that, then yeah, I think you accelerate to the downside. But even the new channel, if you were to draw it given this last wick high and connect it here, you're at the bottom of this channel. Again, another reason why I'm also considering this is an area that makes sense for a bounce. And this one actually makes even more sense here. Let me go back a little bit. Check this out. If we hide that old channel and we update with the new one with this peak, this makes even more sense, right? You're getting a bounce at the bottom of the channel and you're coming up somewhere here near the midline for a rejection, and then potentially breaking down and going below the channel. So yeah, this is kind of what I'm entertaining right now. We'll see if that happens. It does look to me like it's trying to catch a bounce here. We'll see if that sticks. There is, on the lower time frames, you are starting to see some volume come through. This was there was a lot of volume on that one, and you can see it here as well. So did get a nice little push, needs to maintain. It is already at that previous week low, currently rejecting off of it, which makes sense that the initial reaction is probably to reject, but we still have 2 days, 2 days and 5 hours, 6 hours, whatever's left. So this could still come back. You could see something where maybe initial reaction is to reject up there. We see a pullback tonight or something, and then it does something like that going into the weekend and the weekly close. Then we close above it. And if we close above it, again, I'm looking for a move up here to prior highs and even to that previous month high. But of course, I will be keeping in mind that the monthly chart says I probably need to be looking for shorts up in that area. I think that aligns pretty well with stablecoin dominance as well. You guys already know I like this combo chart. Same thing. I think that was it. It came up perfectly. In my opinion, this is going to start trying to make its way down here. We're already engulfing the previous day candle. We're working on it there. That to me, it looks like that was it. We'll see if there's a lot of volume on that one there. So to me, this looks like this is rolling over. We'll see if that sticks. Let me check the 3-day. Yeah, look at the 3-day, which closes in a day and 7 hours. That's your fake out move, if I've ever seen one, right? So if this closes like that, or even if it closes with a red body below it here in the next day, 7 hours, that was it. I'd expect, if you invert that, if you saw a candle like that, you'd be thinking that this thing's about to rocket ship, right? Like you see a candle with a wick like that, small body. You're thinking this thing's about to go. So in my opinion, stablecoin dominance, I think that was at least a local top. And I think we're heading down. I think we're going to come possibly, near these lows here, at least below these, somewhere in here. We'll see what happens, which will align with what I'm saying as far as BTC, which is I don't know if it's going to take these highs. If it does, I can certainly see the case for why it would take the highs. But my primary is that it comes up at least somewhere here, and then we see some downside. So, look, I'll pull up gold quickly. I'll do the gold futures chart. Gold on a yearly basis still looks pretty rough. So we just have to keep that in mind. Gold on a yearly basis still looks pretty rough. It is currently still like at about the high of last year, roughly. If you look at it on a quarterly chart, it is still coming down here monthly. Yeah, I think there's a pretty, like, even if you got a bounce here, maybe you come up and you're going to sweep the high of April at most, kind of come up here. But I think the draw is still to the downside here, just based on 12-month looks rough. Quarterly, it's looking pretty weak still. Anything can happen here, but yeah, maybe a high to a sweep to come up here, like take out those highs, and then we'll see if it comes back down after that. But I'm still in the camp of, I believe precious metals are likely still going to be correcting. If you look at gold or silver against equities, the equity market still looks too strong. If you look at Bitcoin against the stock market, it's absolutely still looking weak, still rolling over. So I think Bitcoin, against the equities, it's either going to find a bounce on the sweep of this previous quarter's low. So Bitcoin is either going to do something like this and then try and make a move back up against equities, or it needs to come and do it down here off of that 2024 low. The risk with that is that there is a lot of air down here, and I kind of wonder if it wouldn't, if it starts going down, if it's not just gonna see a cascading effect basically down to near these lows, if not slightly below them. But there's definitely some air there underneath that 2024 low for Bitcoin. But just want to show you guys this because I think it is important to be comparing equities. Stocks are flying. They're absolutely flying. You need to be measuring every decision against stocks at the moment, against the equities. You can look at Bitcoin against silver, against gold. It is getting a little bit of a bounce against silver, right? But you look at Bitcoin against commodities, and this one still has room to the downside, but this is looking not too bad. This is looking like Bitcoin maybe could outperform against commodities, which is why I'm thinking that this is still probably going to stay relatively flat, if not still kind of correct over the long term. Same thing with the silver chart. I talked a lot about this sweep right here. We talked about it on the Wolf Spaces. I've talked about it on streams. In my opinion, with a sweep like this on silver, I think the draw is at least to this low here. I do think you're going to see at least a move down here to sweep that 60. But there's room to the downside for silver still. And when you're looking at it compared to equities, when you're looking at it compared to Bitcoin, this isn't the strongest horse in the race right now. The strongest horse is stocks. And there's a possibility that the second one after stocks could be Bitcoin for a little bit. And then you'd have commodities for a short period of time. That period of time could just be a sweep of this. And then that changes. And then it goes back to Bitcoin being the weakest of all three again. So I don't know. I'm being optimistic in that, I'm seeing some opportunities for Bitcoin. Oops, wrong one. For Bitcoin against, it could sweep and bounce against equities. It could bounce against commodities. It could bounce against, you're seeing it against silver here. You could be getting a bounce. The gold one is similar. You could be getting a bounce. So there's an opportunity there, but it could be short-lived is I guess what I'm trying to say. It could be short-lived. You could just be sweeping like a previous month high or something, and then it just rolls over and continues to the downside. So that's pretty much my my view on BTC and how it relates to the other markets, I guess. Sorry for the rant.
Love
That was
it.
a long rant, but
No. This was super helpful, Bits. I think we are all pretty much on the same page as far as BTC. We have the new month starting soon, so
Yep.
some upside, right? Limited upside before we see further downside. But that downside is coming, you guys. It's gonna be fast. It's not gonna be choppy. It's probably gonna be like big moves, right? It's not gonna be it's not gonna take as much time as what we did here in the chopping block. It's gonna be much better.
Yeah.
Tazaki was actually the member who was really after that ZAO USD analysis. So thank you, Bits, for breaking that down for him. I know he's been
of course.
talking about it quite a bit to me in the DM as well. So yeah, thank you for that.
And this is still like long
uh-huh.
term. This is still long term looking fine. Like I will say, like I think
Yeah.
it's not that. Like I still think North Star's capital rotation thesis is correct, but even he said, like Nat and I were talking to him, and even he said that he thinks it's in a period of still longer cool off. So just keep that in mind. Like time frame is everything. We can be short term cautious and saying like short term we think it's cooling off, maybe it goes a little down, but in the long term we can still be bullish on this asset because there is really in the high time frame there's not a lot of reason to be super bullish or super bearish yet. We'll be watching it, but yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. No, love that. And again, by the way, for everybody who's just joined us, there will be a major alpha that I will be sharing here very shortly. There are actually two plays that I'm in right now. One that I believe can be next Caspa like play. It even has, just going to give a hint here, Caspa advisors too. So this is a major, major play. It's at a very small market cap. I think it has a potential to give us at least 100x, potentially a 10,000x, and I'm not kidding. We'll dive into that a little bit later today. But first, let's bring in Nat into the discussion. Nat has all the charts up. She's watching the liquidity levels. So we'll go ahead and bring her up. Nat, go ahead, take it away, my friend.
You so much for having me, Lady Trader. I do think we're all on the same page when it comes to BTC. The liquidity is in line with that as well. One thing that I wanted to mention throughout the week on the Wolf Spaces, I kind of mentioned multiple times. This was when BTC was a little bit higher. We were about, I believe, it was 77. And I mentioned that I'm cautious for the upside because of the liquidity that they're all layered below and they're like line above line. And this is what I was referring to, right? And then there was also this big pocket here of about like 140, 148. And this goes back to our initial conversation. One thing that I noticed, especially on Market Monkey Terminal, is that when we have big areas of big pockets of liquidity above 90 million, it kind of works as a magnet and we see the price gravitate towards it. And this brings me back to the initial conversation when I first joined the space. One thing that I mentioned back then as well is that sometimes we see like the big liquidity pockets, right? But then price tends to dance around it for a little bit and then pulls into the liquidity. And we're seeing that over and over with the big areas of liquidity that we've been seeing above 90 million. So we grab that. One thing that I am looking at, there is a lot of buildup here below, and we have not grabbed these that are increasing. These that are now 52 and above, they were a lot lower. They were about like 30 million before. So I'm kind of looking at them. These are still increasing. They're still building. Some of them are now in the 40 and 37 million. But there is, as I mentioned on space, a little build up above us as well. So we have 54 million, which is 77.8, right? Which kind of aligns. There is some build up here, 78,000. So can we see a move to the fake out to the upside? Absolutely, before going ahead and grabbing the liquidity that's building at the bottom. One thing that I said last time we were on the space, and it remains true, for some odd reason, on the weekends, we see the big pockets of liquidity of above 90 million. So far, we don't have that on either side, but if uh, what's been happening last few weekends with the liquidity, if that were to continue, I would suspect that probably on Monday we would see some big area, big pocket of liquidity like we saw at the 74 700. This was the area I mentioned 2 days ago that was an area of interest based on this pocket that was building, and we saw how price got to it. It tried to bounce a little bit and continue to nuke through it. 73K was the line in the sand for me, and I mentioned that multiple times. The hourly actually looked really good on that dump. It did signal that we were slightly oversold, so I am not surprised to see a bounce. I wouldn't rule out some kind of a bounce a little bit higher as well. There is small build up here, 42,076,000. So it all lines up with us going a little bit higher based on the new month and then continuing to move to the downside to kind of grab these. But I'll be keeping an eye out to see where the liquidity does increase the most this weekend based off previous pattern. And we're kind of seeing this big line that this wasn't here before. We're seeing this big line. It's at 17 million now at 68,526. So very interesting to see this. But then there's also a buildup at the top as well. So kind of keeping my eye on this. Again, 90 million and above has been serving as a magnet, and I've been mentioning it on space multiple times. So whenever I do see those big pockets of liquidity, these big areas that have been building, like the one that we saw at 74,700, price tends to gravitate towards it, and then it's usually followed by some kind of follow through. We saw it in the 60s, we saw it in the 70s, and the price went higher, and now we're seeing it again, 74,700, and price is now below it. I'm gonna bring up my weekly chart real quick because there's it does not look the best to me, and the monthly either, and I think we're all kind of in line with that as well. Let me just bring it up real quick. Okay, do you guys see it? Oh, give it a
Yep.
second.
Bright
Yep,
chart right there.
got it. Oh my gosh, hold
Yeah.
on.
Uh, put on your
Almost fell
glasses,
out of my
vampires.
chair.
Lady
How come
Trader,
your
like,
other
yep,
one
nice
how
and
come your
light.
other one's not light? Nah, what's going on there?
Oh, because I haven't figured out how to put light mode on.
Yeah,
But
this
what did
is
I do?
brutal on the eyes. This is so brutal on the eyes.
Okay, vampires. All right, simmer down, vampires. Put your sunglasses on. The every time I see this structure, it's usually followed by some kind of acceleration to the downside, which we're all seeing. But one thing of interest to me that would completely invalidate this move if we see weekly closes above 77,825. As it stands right now, it does look like a clear rejection, and sometimes the areas of rejection are revisited, right? And I think we all know that. But if we start to see closes above that, maybe we give run of the highs, maybe even 80K before the next leg down. But overall, this structure isn't bullish, at least for me, right? Even if I do bring up the monthly chart, it's still not. It looks even more bearish, in my opinion. I think we're all aligned with that. We're all saying the same thing. It's a clear rejection there. If we start to see breaks breaks below 70, I'm looking at 66 to 65. Below that, obviously the lows. We start breaking these EMAs, and I think we go lower. What's very interesting to me, I don't think what's very interesting to me is that if we break 37K, it's gonna get ugly. I don't think we are, right? Maybe we do a false move to the downside below 37K, right? Like I've been saying, my area of interest was 35 to 25K. If we do some kind of a false deviation, probably around 32 and then higher. But if not, if we get an aggressive move to the downside, the monthly is telling us that we need to be prepared for even much bigger lows. I mean, this will be a very interesting scenario, but it would line up with that horrible yearly close that we have. But
Yeah.
the upside is we have support at 60,000. So 60,000 would have to hold. If 60,000 does not hold, then I think, that scenario that we've been talking about would be in play. And then I'm keeping it a little short because I know you have stuff to share. And we have William as well that has to give his take.
Ah, don't worry about
Let's
William.
Yeah, literally, I'm
Wi-
just going to be saying the same exact thing on this at this point, honestly.
Yeah, because I think we all have the similar levels. It's just at which level we get that bounce in, and I'm with Lady Trader. That weekly close, that weekly candle was not the best looking one. So we kind of just have to be prepared for all kinds of scenarios, especially if that 60K area does break. It would put us in line with 35 between 35 and 25K BTC, and maybe it would be like a false deviation, and then we'll go right back up. We shall see. We gotta it Either way, it is very interesting. Where BTC is very interesting. We still have no proof that the 4-year cycle has been deviated or that it doesn't work anymore. So until we get some kind of proof, it's sticking to that time frame, to the price action is key, in my opinion. Unless, as we spoke about last time we were on the space, if we start to see breaks above, for me personally, above 100K, then that would bring the 4-year cycle into question. But as of right now, we did not get that. We did not see that. We saw clear rejection that we all saw on multiple charts and multiple time frames. So that leads me to believe, that the 4-year cycle is definitely still intact. If we start to break below 70K, it'll open the door to 65K, 60K. If 60K doesn't hold, then as you guys saw on that chart, it opens the door to lower. So, lately on the timeline, there has been a lot of talk, especially on the equity side of investments that the current administration has been in, and a lot of them have they've ran right. We saw what he mentioned when he mentioned mu ran, ServiceNow ran. They have a partnership with they announced a partnership with Robinhood for Trump accounts. Robinhood is currently running. All of them have ran a little a lot actually, all except for this one in LAC, which is what I mentioned on the space earlier today. So there's an opportunity here. The chart does not look the best. And it has, don't get me wrong, it has moved since there was talk that the current administration has a position in here. So it has moved. It hasn't been flat. It has moved. But it's currently what I'm currently looking at is if we're able to get a move above 611, 620, I'm sorry. If we're able to get a move above 620, I think we're into some resistance, but it would signal move for higher. This would coincide with all the other charts that have moved and all the other ticker symbols and the assets that have moved within that the current administration is in. The weekly doesn't look too bad for me. It is running up same thing above, running up on some very interesting resistance, but I think if we're able to clear it, we hit the new highs there. And I wouldn't rule it out, right? We're seeing everything that the current administration is in kind of run and give a big pump to the upside. This one, compared to others, have not given us that aggressive move. It did pump a little bit, but it sold off slightly, and it is now starting to recover. So this is one that we're in. This is one that we're kind of keeping a close eye on because it's the one that has ran the least compared to all the others that the current administration is in. And that's really all I wanted to touch on for today, Lady Trader. BTC, we can go, definitely can go higher, not ruling that out. But overall, based on where the chart is on the weekly, on where we are on the monthly, um, it doesn't look the best, right? And on the weekend, I'll be keeping my eye out on the liquidity, seeing where the big pockets are, because we've seen time and time again the liquidity structure changes on the weekend. So I'll be mentioning that on space when the next big pocket of liquidity arrives. But overall, I am still in my short as well. We did take a whole bunch of profit on it, but I can see it. Even if we go slightly higher, I can still see us heading back to the downside. That's pretty much all I have for today, Lady Trader. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Great takes there, Nat. And you know how much we appreciate you sharing the liquidity levels and also breaking down for everybody on how to actually look at it yourself. So, because a lot of times, I mean, these are like the people that I do believe bring real value are people like Nat, Bits, William, Kelvin, Bad Price, because they are not gatekeeping secrets, right? They're actually telling you how you can do it yourself. That's what it's about. It's about empowering you so that you can do your own analysis. You're not, you know, and I'm not overly against or really any I don't have anything against subscription model where KOL has a community and they charge you money. But the real KOLs, I mean, look at the real deal here. We have people who are sharing how they do their analysis and what tools they use. So you can use the same tools if you want to. And so it's just incredible. Wealth of knowledge right here on this panel. Thank you, Ned. Appreciate you.
Amen.
Yep. So I'm going to go ahead and break down BTC first before we get to my alpha, which is coming up very shortly, just in the next few minutes. Okay, so bear with me here. I know I've been talking about it. I'm excited. But BTC, again, I'm looking at this one, right? We have these yearly fib levels, and this is a major level. So like what Bix was also saying, that potentially we could go up to that 78, 79 before making that move lower. I mean, that's a possibility. It's not a given, right? We are watching how this weekly candle closes. To me, when it did this, like, this move here was almost like to trap buyers, right? And then it kind of crashed below this one. This one shows me this is bad. Like it's gonna get really ugly very quickly. And also remember, guys, like when we were shorting up here, 82.5 and below, we were ready for this, right? Like foot soldiers were lining up. We went a bit heavier, above 82K. So those positions are in big profits right now. And so I'm holding them. I'm gonna continue to hold. Again, like if you want to book profits, that's fine. I am holding, even if it goes a little bit above this, I don't think it will. I'm okay with it because this is still within my range. Anywhere here is my range for the short positions, the big short, right? Dr. Burry style. So when I'm going to play like him, I'm okay with some drawdown as well if it was to happen. But this is a very well thought out short position that is probably going to be my biggest short for my trading career. So I'm really excited for that one. People always say, when I make it, there's going to be signs. I say, when I make it, there won't be any signs. I'll just disappear. You won't hear from me. So that those times are coming up very soon. I am going to be talking about this as well here. We have tricks, which is an indicator on weekly. It's turning red. I am also using TDI, which is used very heavily by the students of Steve Morrow. And this is also crossing bearish on weekly, right? So this is a very ugly chart. And I can't understand why anyone would be bullish. I know there are some people who are bullish. I don't know why. It's bad. And so also there is a fake W pattern here, right? The fake double bottom. This is going to be price is going to be coming down very quickly here. So there might be some upside here, very short term at that 63 because there is a major fib level. Maybe a little bit of an upside, not much, before we start our journey to the downside, which I am hoping we get there very quickly, 37K and below. This is what I'm watching for. And so, yeah, those times are coming up very quickly. May is already here, right? June is starting here shortly. So it's not very many months remaining to the bottom. We're going to be getting there very quickly. So that's all I have for BTC. Now I'm going to talk about the alpha that I've been teasing about, and I'm excited to get into this one. So be ready. There are a lot of QTC, so be cautious because the one I'm talking about is Q Bitcoin. This is a project I came across last year, and I've been doing a lot of research on it. I bought some last year and I never sold it. And then, of course, it got crushed, and I knew this was coming up, right? Like we were talking about what's going to happen in the markets. This has a quantum narrative. So this is a quantum focused, quantum resistant BTC fork. Okay, that's what it is. The good thing about this, it's a very small market cap, and you can even calculate market cap by however many emissions they have per block versus what block we are in currently. Roughly about 4 million tokens in the markets currently. So it's about $4 million market cap, right? According to the price right now. And I've been buying it very, very heavily the last few weeks, last few days. And so this is where, like, I was buying between 50 and 60 cents. I did miss out on the very bottom. And then it obviously, when I started seeing, the price kind of doing this, I'm like, yeah, time to enter. Like, just go ahead and buy as much as I can. And I did buy pretty heavily. And I still have to buy more. I'm not done yet. So this is going to be an ongoing DCA until, the end of the year, and then even after that, depending on where the price is. So this is a major project. It has a good community that's building. No KOLs are really talking about it right now. Some may be accumulating, right? Because we don't want to talk about it when it's so early, because you want to buy as much as you can, and then you want to pump it up later. So that may be the strategy for some people. I am very happy to share it early. I think it's important. I did talk about it also in Alpha Seedlings last year. Some of you might remember this. And some of you, I've been talking about this also the last few days. So you guys know, like when I was talking about it, 60 cents and more, that, hey, this is probably going to go up here very soon. And it's doing that. And so this is a major one. I also want to talk about the connection between Caspa, which has a major community. And a lot of you are enthusiastic about it. You're like, what's the next Caspa? What's the next Tau? And so this is potentially it. Okay. So the connection between Caspa and this one, we have Michael and Bogdan, who developed OPOW, which is a technology that is being used by Caspa. And both of them are also advisor for QBitcoin. So that is important. The founders of QBitcoin are at MIT, major network there. Even BTC started at MIT, right? That's where it started out of. So major people involved with this one. They have also received funding from DAG Labs, and that lab is actually the one that also developed Caspa. So be mindful of the connection here, right? Some really, really solid alpha. And I think at $4 million market cap, it is an incredible opportunity, in my opinion, for myself. Okay, I cannot. This is not financial advice. I'm not being paid by this team. I do have a huge position in it that's going to continue to increase, right? So there's that bias there that I want to declare, but I'm not being compensated by this team in any way, shape, or form. I've just done very extensive research on it. Quantum is going to be a major narrative as we get into the next bull market. And which was also funny is that BTC was actually crashing and then this was going up. And I'm like, come on, like guys, crash it a little bit more so I can buy even more than what I have. But yeah, it's not stopping. It can still come back down, right? We could potentially see this area being retested, which is going to be amazing. Even a little bit lower, right? Even 35, maybe if we are lucky, that would be great. But really, anything on this one, on this gem, I will take any downside on this. I'll buy as long as it's below $2. I think it's a great entry because this has a potential. I mean, if we are talking about 4 million market cap right now, and for it to potentially go up into billions of dollars in market cap, what's the upside potential that we are talking about here, right? So keep that in mind. I mean, this has a huge upside potential. Again, potential. It's not a given. It's not a guarantee. Everything is risky. But for me, I am okay with taking that risk, and I am willing to see where this one goes. So
Lady
definitely,
Trader,
your own
can
research. Yes, go ahead.
can I share my outlook on this really quickly? I just looked at the chart.
Yes,
It
yes,
is
yes, absolutely.
it is it's a juicy one.
Yeah.
Here, I'll throw it up. Yeah, I wish I was looking at it near the lows. So you guys know I like this like 3 candle reversal, right? Quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I look at the quarterly view quite a bit. You can see we're already above last quarter's high. Look at the 2-month chart though. This was the setup on the 2-month. You had a 2-month low on candle 1, 2-month low. Candle 2 swept that low but closed above it, right? So this is the exact same thing. I had Calvin actually help me code this into a script. But so candle 1 sets a low, candle 2 sweeps that low but closes inside of it, closes above it, which you did, right? There's a lot of wick here. This isn't a perfect setup, but still it closed above the previous 2-month low, and then this one
Mm-hmm.
has now gone up. Usually like the when you talk about where the move goes to, it goes to the top of candle 1. So candle 1 is the move down, candle 2 is the manipulation, the fake out, candle 3 is the expansion back to the top of candle 1. So that's a full move right there. Full move completed on this. What I would say is if I was looking for a pullback on this one, this is such a good looking chart, is I'd mark out your previous month high right here. This is the high of April. And that's roughly where I'm looking. You can also see that that's where that breakout came from. So I think if if you get a move down here, and we don't know if it's going to, but if you get a move down here, this is a pretty sweet area to be watching here, around the previous month high. So, maybe give yourself like something like that as like a potential range where if you for some reason happen to get a pullback down there, that could be quite juicy. But yeah, on the 2-month, I mean, to me, this is a full move. It went from bottom of candle 1 to top of candle 1. To me, at this point, it is welcome to cool off. It is free to cool off now because it has done the full move that I typically would see. I if I was trading this like on a perp exchange, I'd be fully TP'd and out of that move at this point, and I'd be looking for a juicy pullback to run it again for the next leg. So looks really great. Again, with these though, they're so small, they don't have to follow TA in the typical way. So it may not give a pullback. It may not give a pullback, but think of it as if you get it, you're lucky. If you don't, you play what the chart gives you. But if you get the pullback, could be something, that you may not want to fade.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Bits. Love that. So you're looking at about what, 45 to 50 cents area? Is that what it is?
Man, if it got close to 50 cents, that would be
50
juicy.
cents.
Yeah, that would.
Yeah,
If it below 50, you are talking about like a fire sale, like that. That is. You remember that one coin where I said like if it went back down there below that, like that's probably like your last chance to get in. I think if you saw below 50 cents, like that is probably that last chance before this thing just goes on that next leg. But really, I think anything below And of course, we got to wait to see how the week closes. But there's a huge inefficiency here. So if we'd have to assume, anywhere, I'd say anywhere below like about 80, anywhere below 80, I really start paying attention. As close to 50 as you can get that, I think it gets really juicy. Yeah.
Yeah. No, thank you, Bits. Love that take. I'm glad. I was actually curious to see what your take was going to be from the technical perspective.
Yeah. No,
But yeah, it's
looks sweet. Yeah.
looks sweet. Yeah, absolutely. So I am definitely, like I said, bullish on this one. I think it has big, big potential for an upside. Do your own research on this one. If it was to go, I'm thinking my ideal TP on this one overall, which might take a few years to play out. I would love to see this 5 billion, 4 to 5 billion or more. And at these levels, right, we are talking about 1000x. Also, this is a
Wow.
BTC fork. I also want to talk about the total supply. So it has so far, it has about 4 million tokens in circulation. You can go and look at the emission rate on their website. Make sure when you are looking for the website, you go to CoinMarketCap. I'll leave the link in the comments as well, so you guys can do your own research on it as well. But CMC has a really nice page on this one as well. It gives you the link to the website, so make sure that you go there. Make sure that you get yourself familiarized. This is also mineable, so you can mine it as well. I'm just buying it off of the markets. That's what I'm doing. But total emission by 2028, it's gonna have about 10 million 500K tokens in circulation by 2028, and then it's going to go through its first halving in 2028. So the reward is going to cut down into half, and then the next 4 years we're going to talk about another 5 million tokens in circulation. So it's going to be a while, right? So there's going to be that supply shock as well. All of the good technicals, good fundamentals kind of brewing for this play, which is why, I mean, right now is the time to search for some of these alpha that could potentially give you 1,000, 5,000x into the next bull run. And this is one that I'm watching, and I think I'm bullish on this. Also, if you look at the sentiment
put it
side
on
of
a
this
put it on a 6-month chart in a minute, Lady Trader. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Look at
Real
the
quick
no,
6-month.
thank
too,
you.
Lady Trader, is it Super Quantum? Is that who's behind the project?
There are some ties there, but it's different. It's Q Bitcoin, so definitely different beast there. I'll talk a little bit more about it, but yes, Super Quantum IO is the website on this one, and I'm gonna. I have some questions coming into that I want to cover.
Yeah,
But go ahead.
I saw
What
the
were you talking?
emission schedule on there. I just wanted to clarify I was looking at the right one. Okay, cool. So
Yes, yes. So Super
superquantum.io is
Quantum.
the right one. Okay,
Yes,
got it.
that's the one. Yes. Bits. What were you referring to for 6 months chart?
That
This one, the timer.
there's a month and a couple days left. So if in the next,
Yeah.
like if we think this thing's gonna hang out up here, this 6-month candle is gonna close above the low of the previous 6-month candle. So the fractal that I just showed here, I'm gonna switch back to my chart because I think this is worth. And again, like
Yes.
I'm getting excited because it's a good looking setup. I didn't have any kind of alpha or insights. I don't have any like paid tokens or anything like this. This is a clean looking setup. So the same thing you just saw here on a 2-month basis, which is that a 2-month candle closed inside, right? Like this, look, the same setup, right? If you were to replay this back to here, right? If we were replaying this, you get your new month. Your new month, what does it do? It sweeps the low of your previous month. So that in this example here, we're gonna see that sweep of that previous candle, right? But then what does it do? It closes. If this closes above that low, right? And we're gonna see here in a minute. It's gonna close. I'll probably speed it up. There we go. See how it closed above that low, even though it swept below, it closed above that low. Where the next move. The next move is to the high. It swept the low, closed above it. Now it goes to the high, right? And we saw this play out live. This is literally what just happened. This is now above the high. Like on the current chart, it's now above the high. It swept the low, closed inside of it, went to the high. What's repeating on the 6-month, guys? It's doing the same dang thing, and you've got about a month and 2 days left. If this closes in the next month above the low of the last 6-month candle, where is the draw to the top of the previous 6-month candle? That current move is 399% to the top side. So yeah,
Easy,
it's
easy.
easy. I actually looking at the way this looks, I mean, I'm thinking it could even go up into the $20 range. As crazy as that sounds, I mean,
Oh,
this is some moon math, but I would not be surprised to see this extending up here, maybe even into the 50s. I mean, this would be so. Let's do this. Let's pull a fib. If you pulled a fib from the top of that move to the bottom of this move, and let's say that's stuck, right? Let's say this is the low. I mean, if you're doing just like a 1618 extension, you're looking at almost $10. Your 2618 is at $15. I mean, guys, this that
Yeah.
could have some upside. Pretty crazy. Again,
Yeah.
you got to do your own research. I'm not giving any financial advice. I'm just sharing my view on it and that I think it's an interesting looking chart. So, yeah.
No, love that bits. Although I disagree with you on that $10 because I do see a much, much higher potential for this, guys. I'm fired up on this one. But
That
no,
sounds
this is
good.
great. Love that. Thank you, Bits. Appreciate that. I want to talk a
Right.
little bit more. I know we are all fired up, guys, because this is a potential solid alpha. None of us are being paid by it. I can't emphasize enough on this. I'm not their KOL. I am just covering this because I'm buying it. I'm putting my own money into this. I see a huge potential here for myself, right? Can't speak
I'm
for
open.
anybody else.
I'm open if they want to pay me. You know, they can.
Yeah,
They
I
can
mean,
pay me.
you're welcome
I
to
just full
donate.
ported. I just full ported the account, guys. I'm all in. Let's go.
Let's go.
Mm.
But I want to talk a little bit more, right? So I talked about the total supply, the emission rate, all of those things, really good stuff. I want to say some of these things like the community. Make sure you join their Telegram. I'm going to share the link in the comments so you can see the kind of community they're building. The good thing is there are a lot of people who actually know the tech because these are people that are not your crypto shillers, right? Like you have to understand the technology. It's not easy to buy. You're going to have to do some things there. And I'm going to talk about this too, because I do see some questions around it, where to buy. And yeah, the Carl has a question. Crypto Club has a question. Crypto Cub has a question. I'll cover this in a second. But this one also. So we talked about advice by Caspa advisors as well. And then this one, which is important. We have IonQ, which Nat and I were actually talking about it right before our stream.
Oh,
And
absolutely. I am
Yep.
very, very big
yeah.
on IonQ. Yeah, let's go.
Yep. So IonQ is at $20 billion market cap. QTC is at $4 million market cap. Guys, I'm telling you, this video that we are recording today is gonna be historical. We're gonna have snippets of it going when we get there with QTC. The CEO of QTC is also quantum machine build lead at Quera Computing, which recently raised over 230 mil from NVIDIA and Google. The devs at QTC were recently recognized for their work by IonQ. So we'll see. I have not verified this news. This is just basically coming up here on CryptoX, right? So you have to still verify everything. So make sure that you do your own research on this particular news here. But I do know that Caspa advisors are part of it, and the team is basically based off of Massachusetts, so by MIT. So those are some really awesome things about it. Now, is how you can buy this, right? That's you can actually buy it on Safe Trade or CoinX, those two only. And then you also have to have Electrum wallet set up. And that wallet is painful. It's very painful to set up. You're going to have to set it up on your computer. When I first bought it, like my first position, I actually had it set up on a burner laptop. And so it was that early, right? So I'm like, okay, I still have some questions about it, but it looks great. I'm going to buy it. And I did install it on a burner laptop. And so that wallet takes forever to load and all of those things, right? And then you buy it on those exchanges, which is Safe Trade and CoinX. You have to be cautious with those smaller exchanges too. Shady stuff happens, right? So what I do is I buy in small chunks, not like huge amounts all at once, and then transfer it out, then buy more, then transfer it out. You don't want to leave it on the exchange either. And so that's what I'm doing. Okay. And the other thing to also call out, like it's kind of like Bitcoin Cash. Like you looked at that as well. Like you look at the chart. I mean, it can go anywhere. It can go from $100 to potentially thousands of dollars. You don't know where it's going to end up with quantum narrative coming and all of those things. So be mindful of all of that, right? So good stuff about it. So that's what we have for QTC. Like I said, you can buy it on Safe Trade and CoinX. Only look at this on Coin Market Cap when you search for it, because there are some other QTCs too. So you have to find the right one. And I will leave the comment after the stream ends. to link you to that so you can go and check it out. So that's QTC. Now, the other thing I want to talk about, this is another play. It's a small market cap play as well. If it is what they claim that it is that they're building, then that one has a very big potential as well. And so I'm going to move on to this one again. Since we are talking about quantum, I'm going to continue talking about quantum. There's going to be a major narrative around quantum. It's already there. This one, um, it's SOQ. So SOQBit, and they have a PSOQ token. This is a quantum resistant L1 or quantum L1, whatever you want to call it. And this is a very interesting play as well. So I've been kind of accumulating this one. I did not get a very low entry, right? So my position is 600K and above, and I'm okay with it. If it was to go into that $1 billion market cap, I'm fine with it. If it does give a crash, which I hope it does, because Solana is going to get pretty ugly. And so I'm waiting to buy more on this, but I already have a position in just in case. This one, the way that they have it set up, now you're going to ask me, lady, why did they launch on Pump.fund? Because that's what they did. If it's a legit team, why did they launch on Pump? The reason why they launched on Pump is because this token is going to be similar to Dogecoin, right? So with Dogecoin, you have a large amount of supply, right? And when you have that large amount of supply, then it really it's up to you how you want to pre-mine and whatnot. So once their main net is live, they will have a one-to-one bridge available for you. So whatever you buy here, you'll be able to bridge it to their main net when the main SOQ token launches. And so this is also a team that is doing some good stuff. I definitely encourage you to check them out. Check out their X account. Check out some of the audit. The company that audited their tech is the same company that audited Doge and even found some issues with Doge. So there is some good potential here. Also, the chart for this particular one, I mean, to me, it's looking pretty neat from a technical perspective. I would love for this to kind of get crushed down to here, 200K if I get that. I wish I had found it even sooner. I mean, it would have been such a beautiful entry. But still, like if it has that upside potential, if they are what they're claiming to be, I think this could go into hundreds of millions, if not billions, right? So this is another one. Again, this is a little bit more of a risky play than QTC because QTC already has a main net. It's already mineable. This one does not have a main net yet. And so I believe you can mine this still, if I'm not mistaken, but they don't have like a main net. I think there's another mechanism. I need to look into it a little bit more. But this one is a newer one. Again, I'm not their KOL, not being paid by them, but this is another opportunity that I am paying close attention to and buying a little bit here and then waiting for it to maybe give me a better entry. So those are two big ones. I would say QTC is not as risky as this one, right? There's always going to be risk involved, but this is another one. So I encourage you to look into this one as well, because I think this could potentially do something in the next bull run. Again, it's still May, right? So we have a big downside potential still brewing on BTC, which is going to impact all of these plays overall. But again, I am okay with taking a little bit of a risk right now, even if there's further downside, with the understanding that it can get crushed, it can, go down quite a bit. So be mindful of that. And there, yes, go ahead.
I think it's so beautiful how we both align on quantum, even though we haven't been
Mm-hmm,
on the spaces together for a little
mm-hmm,
bit. But the fact that we both saw the opportunities within quantum, myself on the equity side and you on the crypto alpha, it's so beautiful. And quantum is such a big narrative lately that I don't know if you
mm-hmm,
guys know this, but the government, they actually transitioned from the standard research grant on quantum to direct equity stake in these quantum companies, right? That's how big it is.
mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. No, quantum is big right now. See, I'm not even following their page, so I'm going to go ahead and give them a follow. But definitely take a look at this one, right? Take a look at them, see what they're actually doing, and then also some of the partnerships and some of the technologies, like Hellborn. This is one of the companies that did do their audit on this, right? So this is a major company, major player in the market. So some good fundamentals here and really solid chart for both plays that I'm sharing. Hopefully these plays do good. So I'm looking forward to that time. But yeah, those are the two alphas I had for today. I hope it was helpful. If you have questions, definitely leave your comments and we will address them as we go. But yeah, that's all I have. I'm gonna go ahead and bring up William, who has been very, very patient through our alpha discussion. William, take it away.
No, it's incredible alpha you shared. I'm definitely checking all of that out. I think quantum's a very interesting play, and I'll actually be talking about a quantum company that I have been longing for a little bit of time here. First off, just recapping what we talked about with Bitcoin. I know last time we talked, we were kind of trending near this 200 EMA. As you can see, we got rejected, and now we're in this cloud here, kind of very, very, very similar to playing out how we talked about before. If we can hold the bottom of this cloud here, I could see us retest the 200 EMA again. But if you look out at the weekly, it just looks disgusting. Like we have these rejections right here, rejection right here with the lagging span, rejection right here with the baseline. And looks like we're heading back down to the 200 EMA down here. Some key levels, if we break below, I believe would be in the 60,000, 49,000 range between these two blue lines here. That is where this previous cloud back here had a lot of strength, had a lot of support buildup. That's why it's so flat there. And so I'll be looking at possibly longing there if we can hold that area. But yeah, just Bitcoin not looking the best. Obviously, we've all kind of talked about that, shared our opinions there. So I just wanted to cover my kind of agreement there very quickly. A play that I'm in right now that I think I've talked about on the stream before is Circle, guys. I honestly think Circle just looks really good here chart wise, especially in the daily Ichimoku. We're just riding this green cloud here very well. We have a bounce off of the support here, right back here. I think that was earlier in May, and we have another bounce right here as well. Something I'm eyeballing is this 200 EMA right there. I want to see a cross there and a hold before I just go, buck wild on here. I have allocated to this position, though. I do hold a sizable position in a 2x leverage circle play. CRCA is the one I'm in, pro shares. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. I'm very, very excited. I would be selling somewhere around here in this area. We do have a slight flat line back here on the cloud. And so the 148 area is looking where I'm looking to take profit would be 148, take some profits off the table, let some runners run and chill on that position. But, obviously fundamentals wise, Clarity Act is being tossed up. They're tossed around in the House and the Senate. So I think that could be a good catalyst if that does pass in order for this thing to have maybe even a short pump, maybe a lasting pump, who knows. But Circle's chart wise just looks really, really, really good. I'm looking forward to this one. I've doubled down on it quite a bit. So Circle right there. Let me back up here. Another play I'm in quantum wise is actually qubits. So QBTS, D-Wave Quantum is what the company's called. They're a competitor to IonQ. Gotten this a while ago with a buddy of mine. My buddy actually, so funny enough, a friend of mine who's not necessarily a trader or investor. This is the only company he really invested in. He actually bought all the way back here. He bought during what is it? Like 82 cents to $1. He said he bought a bunch of warrants, which basically allot him like 1.5 shares or 2 shares per warrant. And has since done very well. Let's just say he sold quite a bit, has really, really made off on that one. So I've been eyeballing it since, been really watching it back here kind of consolidate and chill below the 200 EMA as well as below these clouds back here. So I picked the wrong tool there. Here we go. Right down here. What I was trying to pay attention to, though, was this, guys. Like, I was looking at the break of the cloud back here. We got that beautiful, beautiful break, and then we sold off horrendously. So we had this crazy sell-off down here, bounced off the cloud perfectly, though, and that was like a prime entry right there. You have the lagging span entering the cloud right back here. You have a bounce off the cloud here. You could have set risk really, really tight here, even maybe 17 right there, maybe even 16 and a half if you're trying to be loose. Got in, and then right there, as you can see, it's just incredible. I'm still kind of waiting for a cool off before I allocate more, but I am in a 2x leverage play for qubits. QBTX is what it's called. It is up. It has been up significantly. I believe it was like 60, almost 80%. last week or this week, which was quite incredible. Last but not least, on the play side of things, I'm not really looking at crypto right now, as you talked about, guys. Equities have just been exploding. Crypto's kind of been asleep at the wheel. Obviously, Robinhood's kind of a crypto adjacent company. We've seen some crazy bullishness there from the Trump account stuff that Nat mentioned. So Robinhood looking really good. I'll show that chart in a little bit, but this is an energy play I want to show off here called Oklo. OKLO is a nuclear energy play. It did have a nice run up back
Oh yeah,
here back in
splendid.
October. It's consolidating really well. And as you can see, we've actually just broken out of the cloud here. So let me just delete that right here. We broke out of the cloud and now we're riding this cloud. So I'm paying attention to a break of the 200 EMA. That's right here. If we can break that, hold above, I am feeling very, very bullish on this. I'm going to be buying a 2x leverage play on this as well called OKLL. Be mindful, guys. When I'm playing with 2x leverage ETFs, there is obviously significant risk there because it also, it goes up 2 times as much, but also goes down 2 times as much. So if you're wrong, make sure you have your stops set accordingly. Those are the plays I'm looking at though, just because Ichimoku just looks really, really clean on them. It checks out extremely well. Hoping that they play out in my favor. I'll look at Robinhood and then I'll show off one more piece of alpha that I had to share today as well, straight out of NVIDIA and a company called Span. So I'm really excited to share that with everyone today. So Robinhood here, as you can see, we were horrendously trailing below. We dropped below the 200 EMA back here. Lagging Span dropped as well, and then have just been consolidating down here. Broke into the cloud back here. I'll go ahead and delete those. Right back here, broke into the cloud, got rejected, and now we've just been chilling here. All of a sudden, the news came out, popped off very well. I'm not buying Robinhood just yet. I want to wait for a little bit of a pullback. I want to see if we can hold above the 200 EMA here, guys. The 200 EMA is going to be my key indicator once we break out of the Ichimoku cloud, just to confirm, hey, this is bullish. Go ahead. Everything's set to rocket up. So looking at Robinhood, I'll probably wait for a retest around 89, maybe even like 84 here if we can hold the cloud down here, if we can hold above the cloud. Going to be adding DCAing into a position for Robinhood. It is a long-term hold of mine, or a long-term hold I want to get back into since I sold quite a large bit of my position back at the highs here when we went below the Ichimoku cloud. So those are all the plays I'm looking at, all equities, I know, or crypto adjacent equities, but just crypto just does not interest me at the moment. Bitcoin's price action has been very lackluster against the NASDAQ. I've been trading a lot of TQs, SQs, been trading a lot of futures on the NASDAQ as well as gold. Gold's been moving quite well as well. So just looking at those for now. Something I want to share right here, though, all these technicals aside, I hope you guys can see my screen here. Let me zoom in. NVIDIA and more specifically, this company called Span is getting involved in DeepIn, guys. So they've noticed
Wow.
they noticed an issue where, hey, we need more compute, but these AI data centers just cost too much money, and there's not enough room for them, and people are pissed off that they take so much energy and water, et cetera. And so this company said, hey, why don't you just build a little box of NVIDIA GPUs at your house? So essentially, they're getting involved in distributed infrastructure, distributed GPUs. And then, as you can see the context down here, Span is partnering with NVIDIA to pilot mini data centers. They look like AC units on the side of your house, as you can see in this video here. Just like they installed on the side of your home or out front or out back. It's very similar to an AC unit. Homeowners can pay a flat fee, $150 per month to Span, which then covers their electricity and internet bills. Basically, they're going to give you revenues from the GPUs, though. So you spend $150 a month. I'm not sure if it's going to be $1,000. It could be, but they could pay you significant amounts of capital just for hosting some GPUs. The thing about this that I have like mixed feelings on is that there's already decentralized compute deep in plays out there that are doing very well. Like you have a Kosh network, which is a very notable one, IONET as well. Those tokens are up like 200%, by the way. It's AKT and IO token are up, about 100, 200% since the start of the year. A lot of notice, a lot of attention's been paid to them, but they're very successful protocols. Like there's a lot of compute provided on them. They're kind of accomplishing that inferencing and data compute problem that we're running into, where there's just so much demand and not enough supply. And for those familiar, on NVIDIA's earnings call, I think it was a week before or last week, Jensen talked about how there's just too much demand. Demand for compute is parabolic right now. And so there's not enough supply to meet that. We can't build data centers fast enough. The obvious solution is to, A, build more GPU data centers like this, mini AI data centers by your house, or B, tap into the GPU in your computer that you already have. So I just wanted to share that bit of news there. If you guys are interested, I don't know all the details of this yet, but the company is Span, that's SPAN, that is facilitating this. I would look them up, do your own research, of course, see if you can get involved. I'll definitely be looking to get involved with this as well if possible. I think it could be a meaningful venture. But I just wanted to share that little bit of alpha as well as technical analysis. Back to you, Lady Trader.
Thank you. Thank you. Great takes there, William. As always, thank you for bringing that up. We will be wrapping up here in a second. I did go ahead, by the way, and shared all of our plays, the ones, the alpha actually, that we talked about in the comments. So you can go and check it out. The CMC links are there. The Dex Screener link is there. But yeah, I'm hoping that some of those alphas that we are going to continue to cover in the upcoming weeks, they do well for us long term. I'll be on the hunt for good opportunities that I can share with the community. If you know of something that you are bullish on, that has good tech that you think has a potential, please reach out to me via DM, and I'll definitely be looking into that as well. So make sure that you send me your alpha, and I'll also give you credit for that. So I'm not gonna take credit for something that you hunt for me, but definitely DM me if you have something that you want to share. Thank you for that. Bits, any final thoughts or comments from you before we wrap up?
No, I don't know that I've got anything to add.
Are you getting a mini AI data center installed at your house now? Is that what you're gonna do?
That's funny. No.
Oh, it could be fun. Come on. It'd be so much
Yeah,
fun, dude.
I know.
Your neighbors start complaining from the noise. And, yeah.
That's so funny. No, look, interesting times. I don't know that I have a whole lot to add that we haven't already covered. Fun market. If you're, I guess it's like what William said. If you haven't been playing the TradFi market, crypto's been kind of boring, but that will flip at some point. So
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like crypto being boring right now is actually a good thing because it gives us time to find these plays. Like,
Yeah.
like Lady Trader
100%.
finding that Q Bitcoin play.
Mhm.
I'm still bullish on EAT, like EAT token. I'm still very bullish on that. It's not moving for shit right now. It's not
No.
moving at all. But I'm just like, I'm looking towards the future and saying, okay, this X makes sense to me. So Y will probably happen. I'm putting my chips on this. So I think this is a great time for people to start allocating to plays, long-term plays, of course, and expect maybe a lot more boring price action moving forward.
Agreed.
I love that. We'll have a lot of alpha throughout. So I'm looking forward to our October timeframe. Nat, any final thoughts or comments from you?
Yeah, so I just last time I was on the show, we spoke about BlackBerry, and I always like to go back and back test everything I say because it's all in the chart, so people can go back and back test it as well. So I just wanted to bring up BlackBerry's chart real quick.
Yeah,
It
go
has
ahead.
been moving. It hit another high, another 52-week high this week. It's coming up against some short-term resistance, but I think it has room to go. There's a lot of call buying on the
Mm-hmm.
option side for Blueberry. Also with Nokia, same thing. And also they've been making strides with their technology, partnering up with Nvidia. They've been doing a lot of things on the back end. So
Mm-hmm.
BlackBerry is one that has been running nicely for us. Our call options are up over 300% on this. It is slightly overheated, so I wouldn't be. I'll be cautioned if anyone's trying to get in here. It looks like it is going to pull back and give us a retest of that breakout area. But definitely something to keep our eye on. Just wanted to add that
Those
little
call
tidbit.
options cooking over there with Nat. Let's
Oh,
go.
oh my goodness, yes. And we my quantum play is up huge too. I mean, equities are in melt up mode. Obviously, I think at the end of the day, these things always end, not the best, most of the time in a crash, but I can see them kicking the can down the road for longer.
Okay, load up on some puts, Nat, just in case.
Oh, I'm always hedged, right? So I have SQQQ calls, SBXX calls,
Hell yeah.
SOXS, which is the yeah, which is the opposite of Soxel, semis, right? Calls on the Sox S side. So I'm always hedged because these pullback, even in a melt up scenario, the pullbacks can be just as aggressive.
Yeah. This
But
is good. This is good.
BlackBerry, yep,
Yeah,
just
I
wanted
think
to show that out there.
semis maybe have a nice pullback once the Strait of Hormuz situation is solved, because then the helium shortage won't be that much of an issue.
Yep,
You should
agreed.
see a nice little pullback.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. With these plays, Nat, it's also funny because you'll have the similar plays in the crypto markets as well, especially if like you're anticipating markets to kind of top out and then kind of crash. So you'll have like GME, AMC, BlackBerry, and Nokia tokens also starting to pump in the crypto side of things. So that's
I love
always
that.
funny to watch. Yeah, so that's coming up next as well. Any thoughts, final thoughts, comments from you, William?
Well, I mean, just kind of like I said, like everyone else here said, equities are absolutely ripping, guys. I think even crypto-related equities are doing better than crypto tokens themselves. A lot of attention and liquidity is focused on that side of things. I would highly recommend getting involved if you're not involved. There's a lot of different plays you can do to hedge, just like Nat's doing, especially with options. Options giving
Mm-hmm.
you optionality, no pun intended, with
Mm-hmm.
your positions. So I highly recommend checking that out if anyone here is just like a hardcore crypto trader that has not touched the TradFi market, especially with the PET rule going out the door now. You don't have to worry about being marked as a pattern day trader no matter what size account you have.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, by all means, go for it, guys, and just be safe out there, and also allocate to those altcoin plays that you are just head over heels bullish on, similar to what Lady Trader talked about with Q Bitcoin. I have mine. She has hers. I'm sure everyone up here on stage has some alpha that they've shared in the past that they've just doubled down on. That's probably just looking super boring, super. You can even call it disgusting if you want to. The price action's not there, liquidity's dried up, but it'll come back, guys. Crypto will be that hot girl at the bar again. Just wait.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. Carl says he has not thought of BlackBerry in 25 years. Yeah, me neither. We don't think about BlackBerry anymore, right?
That's
It's been a
funny.
long time since I've talked about BlackBerry. I think last I used it was 2010. I thought it was cool.
Blackberries were
Yeah, it
so cool
was.
back then, dude. They were so
They
sick.
were. Yeah.
I
yeah.
was
Did
like, dude, I
anyone
can go on the, I can
find?
go on, I can go on the browser on my phone. Look, guys, I can go on the internet on my phone.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember the little circle thingy in the middle? Oh my God,
Oh
the
The
yes.
mine used to get
trackball,
stuck.
right? Yeah.
Horrible,
Yeah.
horrible. Yeah, and then they updated it to like a more of a sensor.
Yeah, good
Yes.
times. Oh, good
Uh,
times.
Good times. Even in 2010, it was like getting older because I was at a hedge fund back then, and they were using Blackberries exclusively for security reasons and all of that. And man, we all hated it, but we used it. I mean, it was cute. I don't discount that, but there were still like there were other phones available that were much better. So all right. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Hopefully, the alpha today was helpful. I'm already receiving some DMs about next potential alpha, so I'll be checking those out. But yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. Have a wonderful rest of the weekend. We will be back again next week with another FOMO Friday. Thank you.
Let's go.